hang out with our breath and body. Just be here now. Just really be here now. So if all is going well, we are right now being live streamed on Facebook as well. So I'm so happy to be here to share this journey with my beloved sister and co-creator Nusheen. So thank you, my dear, for this co-creation.
Thank you so much. It's an honor.
So today we wanted to offer some insights behind the notion of brilliant health and where this was born from. So my beloved Sister Nusheen and I, we're both two master coaches, and we are creating a program called Lead to Greatness. And the intention of Lead to Greatness, very simply, is to take our very last breath and say, thank you, that was a great life. So everything that allows that to happen is what the journey is dedicated to. And we decided to start, actually inspired by our dear Gabriela, to start with the foundation of brilliant health. You know, as a very basic to living a great life, we want our health to be in optimum condition. As the saying goes, health is wealth, peace of mind is happiness. So this is really a deep dive into cultivating the health that we want to have. And health has, of course, many dimensions, the most obvious one being the physical dimension of health. Not everybody has to be a bodybuilder or weight trainer, yet we want functional capacity, so the body is an ally to what we truly want to live in a great life and not a hindrance in any way. So physical health, there's mental health, so we can navigate these very turbulent times that we're in, and that's ahead of us. That's very clear. There are big changes that are happening at a societal level, and for some of us at a more intimate and interpersonal level as well. How to navigate this with equanimity and clarity of mind. And also emotional health. The world outside us happens the way it happens, but have the capacity to have the emotional mastery to choose the health we want. And also energetic health, to have energy, vitality in our body. Then there's also spiritual health. So we are not here to describe what health is for you, nor is this a course to really give you, best practices, tools, and hacks. There are plenty of information around that. This is really about cracking the code on following through. Once we know what to do, how can we make that a consistent flow of ease and joy? And I'd love to pass it on to my dear Nusheen, and your thoughts around this, please.
So I love to say hello to everyone and thank you so much for being here with us. It's really a pleasure and honor to have you. What I have been thinking to share today, especially around why health is so important in this challenging time in the world, because as some of you know, I'm Iranian, and we are going through some very, very difficult situations in the country. And it has been on and off always over the past 40 years, on and off different challenges. And I personally always had the struggle with depression, anxiety. So I had this background of just getting so much anxious about everything. But doing this work and arriving to a place that I was eventually able to see the divine order of life and trusting that, okay, there are things that is out of my control and there are things that is in my control and there are things that I can do. What I can do is to take care of my mental, emotional, physical, energetic, and spiritual health. And why is that important? Because first of all, ruining my health will not help anybody. That was something that I learned in this work, because we always have this mentality that, okay, if I'm a responsible person, then I have to care, and caring means that I have to be upset or frustrated, or there are different type of beliefs. I personally had this belief that as long as everybody is not happy, I cannot be happy. So I really had to really dig into the layers of what I believe. And eventually I was able to passed through all of these struggles and storms of life in my personal life, professional life, and also all the circumstances with my political situation of my country, I realized to what point it gave me a peace and an energy that I was able to find my equilibrium. So I was there to help others. And that was the most precious thing for me, because then I created a course about regulating nervous system. I created resources that are free for people that they can just use and support themselves through these things. So that was just to support what my brother was saying, that we are going through some, the time in history that is really, things are getting more and more complex, and finding our mental emotional balance, I feel this is the most important contribution we can do to the world, because eventually that's what we are here for. So
it's a beautiful example also of spiritual health. All the cultivations you've done so far has allowed you to see this from a perspective not of contracture, so when we come from a place of anger or even depression, or we're not good to anybody. When we come from that, for in your case, this cultivated ability of spiritual health, now we are a service to society. And the same thing is also true for physical health. Now, these contractures, these thoughts and ideas, they're not outside of us. It's whatever anxiety that we may have, whatever thoughts we may have, and typically they come in two flavors. There's something, say for example, if you have a physical goal, and the physical goal might be whatever it might be, and an intention, yet we sabotage ourselves, and the sabotage is not happening outside of us, it's inside of us. Like for example, there might be the thought, I'm fat, I'm lazy, I'm stupid. These are these very violent thoughts, very what I call 𝒂𝒃 and aggressive thoughts, that is inside of us, that has an image, that has an emotional content, has body sensation that goes with it. Or it could be 𝒕𝒵𝒐 thoughts. Oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Oh, one more chocolate cake will not harm anybody. Oh, it's okay, I'm a good person. All these are actually encouraging us to not go through with it. And even these, they don't have any objective reality. And that's the key thing. They're inside of us. So once we realize that, we move into a way of dealing with it that is not based on simple intellectual understanding or some kind of life hacks and tools and techniques. We have to actually release the contracture that is literally inside the body. So first of all, it takes understanding what the contracture is. And my dear Nushin, you had a beautiful insight around the understanding behind some of these things that seem to be violent or seem to be negative. Yet I love the perspective you shared earlier.
Yeah, what I love to share is that a conversation that I had with my husband. For some of you who know him, Pierre Nadeau, he's really a sage. And he was talking about this fact that we have this law of expansion in the world. So the law of expansion, what it does inside of us, it can create this feeling of I'm not enough, or I'm not good enough, or whatever I do is not good enough. And there is something very important and beautiful about it, is because when we believe that I'm not good enough, I'm talking about myself. There was a time in my life that I was really feeling whatever I do is not enough, whatever exercise I do is not enough, the form of my body is not strong and athletic enough. And it was always this lack of something. I was always striving for more and better and more and better, but not with a peaceful energy. It was really from this lack, this place that it was not peaceful. And then realizing, coming to this conversation of realizing that, okay, the law of expansion is bringing you to always develop to become better. And there is this beautiful fine line between feeling that what I do is good, I am enough, what I do is good enough, and then there's always place for excellence. I can always be better. I can always do more. I can always increase in whatever I do, in the creativity. And there is an example of the founder of Tom Shoes, that he has been doing this business of when you buy one pair of shoes, he would donate one pair of shoes to children in Africa. And over the years, he had given, I think if I'm right with the numbers, 100 million pairs of shoes, something really huge. And then at the end, he goes into a deep, deep depression, feeling that what I've done was not enough. And eventually now he's selling these bracelets that I'm enough. Just this realizing this paradoxal, this polarity that yes, I am enough, and yes, I am limitless. Yes, I can continue to be better, and bringing that energy into what we do with our food, with our exercise, and stopping to beating ourselves. Like I was talking about myself, I was beating myself. Whatever I was eating was not always to what I believed it should be, or whatever exercise I was doing, and it was discouraging me. Very sincerely, it was discouraging me from doing it. And at some point I let go. I was like, let it be, I will never be good enough. And then eventually I told myself, why are you doing this? And then I said, well, because I want to feel well, I care about myself, and I love myself. So I said, so do that, have fun. And I started to really work, and of course it's some processes, and we will work with that, but arriving to that peaceful place of that, I want to have fun, I want to enjoy what I eat, not feeling guilty about everything I put in my mouth, because at one point it can become obsessive. Or exercise, I want to just have fun and do whatever kind of exercise that I feel like today. One day can be dancing, one day can be yoga, one day can be walking, one day can be doing a heavy exercise, whatever, just allowing myself to have fun. And this is a huge shift that gave me so much joy. Instead of all those, I really use the word torturous, because it was torturous. It was like never enough, constantly never enough. So that's what I really love, that in these processes that we will work together with my brother, we will share in this course. That's very powerful.
Yeah, imagine that, the notion I am enough, and this thing inside of me is actually compelling me to grow to a higher version. It's almost like the divine, infinite, unlimited aspect of me bringing me back to remembering that quality that I have in me. Now, these things might sound very grand or lofty. What we will do in this journey, it's really a three-part. The first part is what we call clarity. A clarity of an idea and intention of health that is not coming from some copy and paste of old ideas or some expectation from society. It's really sourced from a very, very deep place. It's from a very profound intelligence that is far more rich and potent than just the cognitive intelligence. So we'll source that clarity from that place, and we'll also source the contracture from that place. What is it that actually prevents you? What is it actually getting in the way? You may have some ideas around it, but when it comes from a deep felt sense of knowing, that kind of clarity is extremely powerful to understand what that resistance is. Very, very clearly identifying that. That's the first part. And the second part is clearing. Once it's identified, to my beloved Nushin's point, is the realization that the very thing that you're resisting is not an enemy. It's not there to torture you. It's not there to make you miserable. It actually is an ally that wants you to grow. So we're going to go through some very powerful practices that allows you to just change their perspective from a very experiential point of view, what that message is behind that messenger in your body, which is coming up as contraction, and clearing it, integrating it so it's no longer an obstacle for you. And then the third part of this is what's called cultivation. And once the clearing is done, the cultivation feels as natural as brushing your teeth. Like when you brush your teeth, you know it's good for you, removes gingivitis, plaque, tartar, bad breath, and all that kind of stuff. But when you brush your teeth, it's the most natural thing. You're not comparing yourself to how you brushed yesterday. Oh, my wife or husband is so much better than me. Oh, I'll miss it today. You just do it in the most natural way. And that is the key to sustained, brilliant health, is to remove the energetic contracture or this heightened sense of importance or morality. So we're coming from a place of this spacious, content naturalness. So we allow that which wants to happen through us, very much like you would brush your teeth. You know it's good for you, you do it as you practice, and you move on with your day in the most natural, ordinary, effortless way. And then, of course, in the end, we integrate that together into a very comprehensive way of handling any kind of intention you have to move towards more and more brilliant health in all dimensions. In every session, we'll have very powerful, insights and Q&As and so on. So yeah, my dear Nushin, I just want to share the three part of how we will address this. And this works for really any kind of health goal that you may have. And in this program, once we go deep into it, you'll be able to use this over and over again for different goals that you may have regarding your health. The 5 parts of this program, the first session, as I mentioned, is about clarity, being clear on what you want and clear on what's actually getting in the way. And then we have the clearing, actually removing at a very deep level the exact stuckness or resistance in the body. And then we have the cultivation, that is the natural part of aligned action, least effort, maximum impact and joy. And then we do this very powerful practice called, who do you have to be to have that habit? We call that identity upgrade. Like, assume the state of already done. So you are that person who can do that naturally. A very beautiful practice that literally is like, once you've deleted the old program, you upgrade it with a new program. And then the final session, the 5th session, will be a full-on integration of all the other 4, of course, with Q&A and deep dives into, subtler nuances of the practice. So that's the entire journey. And then, of course, there's going to be the community that you'll be a part of for another 6 months.
I would love to add one more thing.
Go ahead.
And that is something that I found is super important in the last 30 years as I have been doing my own search about healing, was the methodology. Because I realized that I have been trying to make things happen in my life in some periods, and I couldn't get the result. Until I shifted, I tried something else, didn't work, shifted, tried something else, didn't work, until eventually I could find some configurations that started to work for me. One of the most precious things that I have learned is that we have this beautiful body that with our brain and nervous system, it is wired in a certain way. And nobody has really taught us how to drive the most complex, amazing machine in this whole universe. One of the things that we are going to share is really using the brain and nervous system capacity in order to make things easier for us, because we learn how to drive on the natural way of our body and how to go beyond the resistances and how to understand what is happening and how we can make things easier for us to create the change we need to create. So that's another precious part that we are so eager to share with you.
Yeah, you mentioned this, so I'll just put a spotlight on it. This is not just theory, not to dwell on it, but I literally came from a place of complete paralysis to competing in an ultra athlete sport in less than 5 months using these principles. So not only have I served my clients, it's helped me profoundly as well. And I can't wait to share it with you all.
That always touches my heart so much when you say that. It's so powerful, so powerful. It's a testimonial of the power we hold within and to what depth we can go to find those resources inside of ourselves. Because sometimes we are searching around the world for answers, but this is why I always hold this bracelet in my hand that is a saying of a poem by Hafiz, the Iranian poet, that it says, for many years I was looking around the world. For over the years I was looking for answers. And I give the short version because it's very symbolic and it's long to explain, but eventually all the answers was in my heart. So during this course, what we will do is that we will really go inside and you will use your subconscious and the inner wisdom to get the answers and to figure out where are those breaks that are stopping you. and how you can go over them. And that's why I love this work, because we are not going to give you the answers, because you have them inside of you. We will just accompany you to really get to them inside of you, which is, I find, is the most precious answers in the world, is the ones that your inner guidance will give you. What I love about these tools are that they are giving you a capacity to be able to exactly do. For example, at the beginning of this process, at the course, you will choose it for your health and you will go particular about that. But the process is completely repeatable. So you can take another challenge and start it all over again, and then go through everything to make that part of your life to be more effortless and more flowing, and you can bring a completely fresh new energy to that part of your life. So that's something that we really love, and we are excited about it, because it has been a transformation for my brother. I know that he has gone through huge transformations in his life, and the same for me. So these are not just theories, these are not just some ideas that we have read in the books. However, there are tons of books also, the result of tons of books and researches, and really we have decided not to bring a lot of information to overwhelm you. We have been working 1 year over this work with my brother. We were deciding what we want to put, because we don't want to overwhelm you with information. We don't want to give you so many, okay, go and watch this video and read this PDF and do this. And no, we decided what are the most essential, the more powerful, the more effective processes that we can bring to our beloved ones in this course, so they can get these beautiful results that they are looking for with the really minimum effort. And this is how we have decided it's going to be 5 sessions with, of course, there will be probably some little videos and emails also in between. But the main course is 5 sessions, 1 hour each of them, which is a mix of exercise and the teaching. And also we have decided to keep it limited for this first cohort. We really love that we can give enough of time and attention to everybody. You will also have access to a private Facebook group where you can ask your questions, you can share your wins. My brother and I, we will personally answer all the questions. This access will be over 6 months after this course. That's a huge pleasure for us to have you or anybody in your surrounding and you feel you would like to share it with them. We will be very happy. If they have questions, please put them in contact with me or 𝒉𝒂𝒃. We will be very happy to go over their questions about everything. And we are there to serve, to have fun together. And that will be a huge pleasure for us to be with you. And I'm very happy that our dear Gabriela is here. She has been the inspiration for that we chose really the brilliant health for the first cohort. So that has been an honor that she brought us this inspiration, and I thank you so much for that, because it has started to resonate so much with 𝒉𝒂𝒃 and I. I was like, if we are not healthy, what do we have? Nothing. Health is the center of our life. It's like the central pillar of every other thing in our life. So that's something that we hold it very precious.
Beautifully said, my dear. You know, the whole story of life begins with an in-breath, ends with an out-breath, and all we want to do in the middle is be healthy and happy, to put it simply. So healthy is so foundational. And as you were speaking, my dear, a metaphor came to me. It's like when you're driving on a road and you know, there's a road, let's say, of brilliant health. If you're driving with 1 foot on the accelerator and 1 foot on the brake, you know, the car's going to get injured. You may get there, but it's going to be brutal. So our intention here is to remove the foot off the brake. You don't need to know how the car works. You don't need to know what the make and model of the car is. That's all the theory in the books that we have compiled into this very no nonsense, practical deep dive into really how to get the foot off the brake so you go towards your brilliant health. Like you said, effortless, maximum ease, joy, and also impact in living that healthy life that you wish for. And this is now not only good for ourselves, our family, our loved ones. I find that the greatest gift we can give humanity, perhaps even the greatest act of rebellion, is to show up in the world completely healthy, physically capable, not worried about your body to fall apart, and mentally being able to be calm and emotionally having your heart open no matter what. Is such a beautiful gift to give humanity at this time. So I'm delighted to serve in this way and offering this as a foundation. And then later on, we'll be offering other deep dives into other meaningful themes like relationship and real wealth. Yet the beginning always has to be on the foundation of really brilliant health. So I'm delighted you're all here, and we'd love to share this deep dive with you. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us.